Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, I want to jump into this topic a little bit, dealing with the famine of the word, and from the perspective of the prophets, not necessarily to the people that's watching and things like that, to cover that long story short, there's going to be a famine of the word where the Lord's going to take basically the men off the highways and the byways from teaching this word, and the people who's, just on the other side of the fence is just watching for entertainment purposes or just walking by. That's basically the doors closing, So, just to cover that side of the basis. But on the other side, you have the men of the Lord that's doing this here work, We have to understand and take serious and know the severity of the things that we into, This isn't, it's nothing to take lightly, Once you put your hand to this plow, this is something serious, You actually, in a sense, by definition, basically, by the government's definition, basically, you're going up against your government, And so basically, and this this here thing, this thing that we talk about, this struggle, this fight is a real fight. The government, is actually basically the devil. It's ran by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He is actually the devil, the actual wicked. This is for real, like serious. And his plan and his plot, like the Bible tells us in the book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 40, like 41 and 42. About his purposes is killing his brother Jacob, and we also read about that in, I think, the book of Ezekiel 35 and verse 5 about the perpetual hatred that he had for his brother. All right. So, as part of reading these scriptures, you know what I'm saying, and saying we believe in this and that, it's just more than just going out to the highways and the byways and putting up videos and just reading and repeating certain things, as a man of the Lord that's actually in this and taking it serious, you got to actually believe and, live according to these things, and it's more than just, okay, yeah, we living according to the scriptures by not eating pork, things like that. Well, it's a little more than that, like I said, the devil is real, okay, the so-called white man is real, and he's really your enemy, and he's out to kill you, and especially if you come up into this here lot, the things that we read about how he's going to do and the things he's going to do is actually real. He's a deceiver. All right. And he's going to try to put the saints to death. All right. So we also know that there's going to be some that's beheaded for the Lord, for the testimony of the Lord. OK, so these things is not just something that we read about, and we just we recite, and it's not none of, for the men of the Lord that's in this, that walk around and take this lightly and try to wear this as a badge of honor. You got to examine yourself and see if you actually believe this, man. We can have faith and all that and believe that, whatever's going to happen, the Lord's going to take care of us. We have an example of that with Stephen in the Bible. He was out doing the work of the Lord, and he wound up actually getting put to death by his own brethren, his own people, but nevertheless, to the very end, he had faith in the Lord and, he died with pride, also like, the seven brothers, in the Apocrypha, so, these are examples of men who, who, how we would say in the world, die like soldiers, they just die like soldiers, but nevertheless, because we have those examples, it's not nothing just to take lightly, you actually have to believe in this and walk in this, walk in the fear of the Lord, and part of that is, knowing that, or not knowing the fact that if you're going to be, one of the men of the Lord, we believe that we are, but we don't know if we are. So in that hour, when that time comes, your faith, and your belief has to be there, but that's not going to automatically, guarantee you to have that covering, that safety, The Most High, put it this way, in an example. All right, there's a bunch of Edomites and stuff like that. You see them in Christianity that wholeheartedly believe in so-called Christianity as they've been taught. You see them saying, hell, there's a lot of jakes that believe in Christianity wholeheartedly, with all their heart and all their beliefs and stuff like that, But what's going to happen to them? There's no cloak for them because they don't know the Lord, many are going to say, haven't we prophesied in your name, Lord? And the Lord said, I knew you not. So you have to take this into account. And that's part of the fear of the Lord, knowing or not know, or the fact of not knowing, that, because none of us know what number, what seat number, what ticket number we got to get on that chariot. We don't even know if we got a ticket. We the children of hope, man. We hope that we gotta, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna hope for salvation, you know? So that's part of the fear of the Lord. And like I said, and these examples, the things that we read, we have to, how do I say, actually believe in those things. All right. So if I'm reading this and I'm reading about the prophets and how the prophets gonna be heavily persecuted, all right, in these last days, especially in Jacob's trouble. All right. You know what I'm saying? I gotta humble myself down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Humbly speaking, you know what I'm saying? Just me speaking to my own self, be like, yo, yeah, it's obvious that, you know what I'm saying, the Lord called me to this, but hey, was I chosen? You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I got to do this work and excuse me, I got to do this here work and still fear and tremble. You know what I'm saying? That you know what I'm saying, the Lord is dealing with me. You see what I'm saying? Because at any point in time, you know what I'm saying, I could brag and boast, you know, be out on the highways and the byways and preaching and doing videos, this and that, and be deceiving myself. And when these times come, man, hey, that's a scary thought, man. That's a scary thought about the things that could happen. And so, you know, not to go on too long to why this is important, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to briefly run through a bunch of articles, you know what I'm saying, that's shaping up this here picture. All right. And then we're going to read over the scriptures that we constantly read over all the time, but just, you know, to show you the times that we living in and how serious this monster that we up against is. Okay. This ain't no fairy tale. This ain't nothing like no crazy ass, how do I say, some you over exaggerating in your mind and this and that. They're not gonna really do that, or you know what I'm saying, or like how these Christians believe, yeah, we're gonna be raptured up, you know, before all that happens. You see all that kind of pride that they have, you know, the pride that they have, yeah, all this wicked shit's happening, or it's gonna happen, it's gonna get real ugly, but we're gonna be raptured up before that, you know. So, you know, I implore you, men of the Lord, that's out there pushing the word, you know, to examine yourself as well, to make sure you're not in that same spirit, but like, you know, yeah, I'm pushing the word of the Lord and this ain't gonna touch me. Man, hey, look, that's not part of the fear of the Lord, man. You gotta fear the Lord, you know? Fear the Lord that, you know what I'm saying, and just hope that, you know, you was chosen. You know, many are called, but few are chosen. All right. So you always gotta walk humbly, you know what I'm saying, and just how do I say, examine the times diligently, you know, and see the severity of what's going on around you, you know, and also use that to tighten yourself up, you know. When you see these types of things like these articles we were about to read, you're like, oh shit, you know what? You know, the things that we read and they starting to, you know, become more and more serious. Now I'm starting to see this shit happen now, you know. I got to start walking with more caution. You know, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, examine myself before the Lord more and more and more, because this thing is happening now, you know. And I don't have no more the so-called worldly protection, like of, let's say, carnally, the so-called laws. Nah, the so-called white man's MO is to kill us now. That's what his new law is. So the so-called regular law that was protecting this shit from happening, it ain't there no more. So we know we in them times now. All right. So to briefly run through a lot of these here articles real quick, just to show you the atmosphere, what's going on and the severity of this. We're going to start off with this one here. It says teenager obsessed with mass murder and beheading videos, jailed for killing his stepmother with an axe. So we're not really, you know, a lot of this stuff is, some of this stuff is propaganda. Some of this stuff is, you know, just stories to basically tell us the temperature outside water. And some of these stories are actual real stories, you know. None of that is important to the fact of the matter of what I'm trying to bring out. The importance is the fact that this is what they want us to understand. All right. They're putting these stories out here for us to read and to how do I say, input this information into our minds. So that's the part we're looking at. All right. So as far as the men of the Lord that's in this truth, you know, I've seen certain things where, you know, people that's in this truth, you know, they'll send around videos or upload on websites videos of, you know, people catching judgment, people getting put to death, you know, and they look at gory videos and stuff like that, you know. And, you know, when you read these news articles and stuff like that, as we see they coming down on the famine of the word, it's not just that they're going to cut the Bible off. All right. They're trying to break up. This is a military war tactic. OK, us preaching the word on the highways and the byways is basically boot camp and training camp. All right. Building Ezekiel 37. OK, look at Ezekiel 37 militarily wise, strategically, militarily wise. What are you doing? You're recruiting soldiers. OK, you're giving them boot camp training. All right. And then you like he say, what is that? Ezekiel 37 and 10 or 11. And then there was an exceedingly great army. You know what I'm saying? So basically the enemy, okay, you form a army up against the enemy, and the enemy's like, look, they tell you in military strategy, you know what I'm saying? First thing you want to do in a military conflict is what? Break communication. If the enemy can't communicate, no matter how big his army is, hey, it's all good, because, you know what I'm saying, we could break down into pieces, and while they going looking for us on the left, we can come up from behind them and slay them on the right. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they trying to do as part of the famine of the word. You know, they know they can't just come out and say, okay, the Bible banned. Anybody teaching and preaching out the Bible, they ban. That will cause a big uproar and chaos. You know, they didn't have to calm that down to, you know, further push things on along. You know, their motive is to demonize us and call us terrorists. All right, basically like how it was at the fall of the Roman Empire. When you go into that history, basically they said that Rome fell from the inside out, from the inside. You know, basically these people called the barbarians. All right. And just think about that. The barbers are the barbarians. You see what I'm saying? It's a negative word, just like Indians being savage, right? Same thing like terrorists, terrorizing people. Esau always be naming shit like this to turn the people against their, their enemy. So that the people can fight the war against their enemy and not them directly. They don't have to confront it directly. All right. So it's kind of like the government is using this U.S. citizens in this scenario as the proxy military against the men of the Lord. All right. First and foremost, to justify them coming down and persecuting us, you know, publicly in the streets. All right. So again, you have to watch out for your enemy who's watching your shit and giving him gas to sit here and mark you for certain things. So as we read this here article, all right, or just look at this here article, we see that they're already starting to demonize people. Now look at the picture of this guy. This is the so-called Jake, right? Who's the face of the so-called terrorist now? You see what I'm saying? Now they've already brainwashed the American people with this same story. If we was just to read the story without looking at the picture, we would think this is a so-called Arab, a Muslim, talking about beheading somebody. You know what I'm saying? They're watching beheading videos and killed his mama with an axe. And we'd be like, well, if he killed his mama, it might be Esau. But nevertheless, I'm talking about beheading videos and shit, that might be ISIS, right? You see the correlation of what they're trying to do now? No longer, they already got the violent acts into people's minds. Like anybody who do that is a terrorist, we need to kill them. But now we changing the face. First it was dark-skinned people, you know what I'm saying? Now we changing the face to so-called black people, all right? Now, who are the Negroes, or who are the Israelites, all right? Who's the face of that? The Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans, all right? As we see this direction. So you men that's in this truth and stuff like that, this, you know what I'm saying? Those videos that not to say you upload them or whatever, but you pass around and things like that. I mean, you have to examine yourself for what edification is that getting? Yeah, you seeing the power and the terror of the Lord on these people, but are you really edifying and building up the body with that? Or are you giving Esau gas to come clamp down on you? All right. And what good is the body if it's if it's more or less disabled or lame in a sense, you know? Like it's not wise to go get locked up, then you can't really go push the word, you know, unless that was your lot to go, you know, be locked up and push the word in prison, you know. But nevertheless, you don't want to give Esau no fuel. All right. And we already see the things that Esau's looking for as red flags. All right. So just running through this real quick. It says teenager obsessed with mass murder and beheading videos, jailed for killing his stepmother with an axe. It says a teenager has been jailed for murdering his stepmother with an axe and a samurai sword after becoming obsessed with online videos of beheading, suicide, mass murders, claiming he had become fed up with his life. All right. So there's a couple keys in here that I wanted to pull out. You know, it says, you know, beyond the fact that he killed his mom, you know, that's the thing that's going to turn to people. Oh my gosh, he's such a bad person. You know what I'm saying? What got him to become such a bad person? The regular people in society is going to be like, well, this motherfucker wasn't obsessed with watching videos of people being beheaded, suicide, and mass murder. Basically, people catching judgment, all right, and hating your life, all right. Now, when they go back to observe everybody else out in the world to see who else is crazy like this, who do they see? All right, they see us on the highways and the byways talking about people getting put to death to America, all right, and all these different things like that, you know, and talking about some, you know, we hate it here in Babylon. This is hell for us. This is our captivity, all right, painting the same narrative inside of an individual's mind to prejudge us, all right, and then again, looking back at this face, this is basically our same face, all right, same color man, they're going to equate the two together, all right, so when they see us in the highways and the byways, they're going to be like, that's like the same guy who beheaded his mama. That's some crazy dudes, right, all right. Now, just run through some of these, other articles real fast. You know what I'm saying? All these things just show how, you know, for one, they're setting up this market beast system, and two, how they're cutting us off and turning us into terrorists. All right, they're turning the tables around. All right, or not turning the tables around, but basically they're closing the door for us to where, you know, we become the new enemy of the state. All right. Now this is one talking about Facebook. You know, and I would encourage any brother really to get off of social media. You know, again, there ain't really nothing too much on. You know, I mean, hey. You can do what you want to do, really, because that's not neither here nor there. But just looking at it this way, you know what I'm saying? You know, I wouldn't use social media because, you know, I don't use social media for, you know, privacy concerns and shit like that, you know. And plus, this is all CIA anyway. This is just part of their tracking. This is how they're getting all the biometrics and, well, not the biometrics, but all the information about a person, all right? Not the biometrics, like your readings of your human body, but your mind stuff, what you like. You know, when you click these likes, the websites you go on, they track all this through Facebook. So it says Facebook's tagging some users' interest in treason. Guess who media said would misuse the data? So basically, like I was saying, when you go and you like certain things here and there, or you go to a certain website, so you're friends with certain people or part of certain groups, they have these algorithms for certain things. But now Facebook is targeting people, like how they say, interested in treason. All right, when you go into treason, it's basically going against your government. So, and that ain't no bad thing. Because what if your government decide to say, hey, we're going to start raping all the women? All right, a regular stand-up man be like, well, shit, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they would charge you with treason. All right. So, nevertheless, I mean, fuck, half the country always against treason when they do elections. You know what I'm saying? After somebody win the presidency, people who was voting for the other person, not going to agree with the new president that's in hand. That's why they voted for the other person. But nevertheless, this is some bullshit that Esau got caught up or wrote up for us to get caught up in later on in life. You see what I'm saying? So when we say, you know what, death to America, we're not against we're against your ways. You know, Esau has this put in place to go ahead and start locking us up. All right. This one here says it's not a conspiracy theory. Your phone is really watching you. Research finds. Now in this article here, they're basically saying, you know, well, it's a little, you know, it's some bullshit in this article, but then there's also some truth because they say that it's not really like watching you, not recording you, but it's tracking the apps and shit that you use. So, but really with these apps, you know, when you install these apps, you look at the permissions, and a lot of them say we can use the right for your microphone and your camera and certain things like that. Well, now in this article, they're just talking about taking screenshots and taking data from certain apps. Well, these apps can turn on your damn camera and your recording device, whether your phone is on or off, you know what I'm saying, battery dead or not, because your phone has another internal battery, you know. So nevertheless, this thing is always a recording device. It's always tracking you, getting all your information. All right. So you have to understand why, and a two-part to this, why Esau's collecting all this data on you and spying on you. All right. And what is his motive? We know who he's looking for because we see who he's demonizing. All right. He's demonizing us and the people that's, how do I say, that fit our so-called build, you know, the things that we into, like how he tried to frame us in that first story. All right. But nevertheless, these apps, you know, especially, what's that shit called? Snapchat, you know, that thing has like facial recognition, you know, that's what these sites are for, you know, Facebook and stuff like that. They get the data of who you like, what you like, your friends, so and so, and they always get updated pictures of you, know where you at with the tracking devices. There's another article that talks about, this stuff tracking you even when your phone is off, you know. Now, speaking of the facial recognition, you know, this is another article, it says insane clown posse privacy. Insane clown privacy juggalo makeup is the key to defeating facial recognition software. So, you know, here in this little article where, again, you know, they mix a lot of the truth inside of some bullshit as well. But they was joking, talking about, well, you know, because of this here face paint. Let me see. Let me just read this. It says, are these two right here? It says, facial recognition generally relies on looking for a few different important facial features: nose, eyes, mouth, eyebrows, and jawline. Now, speaking on that, like I said, how they hide this technology inside these little bullshit apps that you got on your phone that you just like, you know, when you online and you see these women or whatever, they have this these pictures with the little dog ears and a dog nose and these little shits like that pop up. What do you think that is to be able to line that shit up like that? They're using facial recognition off these certain points that they telling you about in here. All right. You just have to be wise enough to put all this shit together to see what they really doing. All right. The CIA and all that, they didn't realize it's too hard for them to try to sneak up on your ass and try to get all this information from you. And you ain't gonna be willing to give it to them. But if they make it nice for you, you know what I'm saying? It's like, look, if we want to find out and track where you going, you know what I'm saying? Obviously you wouldn't take a tracker device because you'd be like, hell no, I don't want you tracking me. But if we gave you a free car, you'd be like, here go a free car. You can take it. We're gonna just give you a free car because we like you. Right? And you, hell yeah, bro, what's up? Not knowing that the car got a tracker in there, you got the free car. Oh, well, they had a little bit of money, but what's more important to them is it was more valuable to them is where you going in that car. Now they know everywhere where you going. You see what I'm saying? Because they gave you a free car, something you would enjoy. All right, they getting the information that they need. All right, everywhere you go, you're gonna take that car with you, so they can track everywhere you go. Same with these apps, you know, like the Snapchat and shit. Every single day you use that, you giving them an update on what you look like. All right, updating their system constantly. All right, not to mention all these different cameras around you at the banks, the stoplights, and things like this. All right, this is this Mark of the Beast 5G system that they putting in place. All right, where they're gonna be able to track you everywhere. All right, so a lot of these little apps and stuff like that, it's not good to use those things. Like I said, Facebook and stuff, like going back to what I said for privacy and stuff. I knew that they was using that shit way back in the day before I even came into the truth. I'm like, yo, man, they got all the information that they need on me, And then people nowadays, just thinking in the carnal sense, man, just think of it this way, man. These stupid ass drug dealers and shit putting all the information and shit on the internet and guns and money and shit. So now the police be like, nigga, we got you with all the evidence, Not to mention something way more serious than this. Drug dealing ain't really a threat to the how do I say, the progression of their empire. That's actually helping their empire, keeping Jake down and making them some money in the judicial system. But us preaching is actually a threat to them. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just what they're using. All right. But it says facial recognition generally relies on looking at a few different important facial features: the nose, the eyes, the mouth, eyebrows, and jawline. O'Neal told RT. O'Neal discovered that Juggalo makeup worn by the fans of the worst band in the world Insane Clown Posse can defeat most kinds of facial recognition tech. So they admitting to you that they have this technology, all right? And even wearing masks and stuff, that don't necessarily help out. They playing it by, well, you can get by with this little bit of shit, but this is just some bullshit, It says this makeup actually replaces the jawline as well as few other large features, which makes it very difficult to match to other regular faces. While heavy makeup is often used in other musical subcultures, like the corpse painting favored by black metal artists, only Juggalo makeup has the jawline obscuring, face hiding characteristics needed to reliably fudge facial recognition software. So even though there's other bands that use these masks and certain things like that, it's not really hiding your shit, They can still figure out and find out who you are. So this system is highly advanced at finding out who people are. Why do they need this? You see what I'm saying? These people serious about finding your ass. You see what I'm saying? There's no way of necessarily hiding and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't really hide from this shit. You know what I'm saying? And they are gonna come down on you. But just the simple fact of knowing that he's super serious about this not nothing to play with. Like, yeah, here go my social security number, this and that. Nah, bro, because when he get your ass, man, it's not gonna be no fun and games. And again, you gotta fear the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what ticket number we got to get on that damn chair, if we even got one. So we got to humble ourselves and not walk with pride, all right? So speaking on that tracking, it says more data, more profit. Google tracks your location even when you ask it not to. So we know that, for you brothers with Android phones, Google is essential for you to even use your phone. So again, look at this platform. Google owns up YouTube and everything else. It's a huge umbrella company. All right. Well, actually, Alphabet, which owns Google, is a huge internet company. All right. So they're talking about tracking your location. Even we all got these new smartphones now. They all got tracking devices in them. You see what I'm saying? They can turn it on and off whenever they desire. You see what I'm saying? Even when you don't want it to, even when you turn it off. All right. Not only that, they sending it back and forth to these other people. All of this technology we got is all basically CIA, FBI type of shit. Hey, this is we doing a spying on ourselves for them. All right. All they got to do is turn their computers on and receive the damn data. Our shit's telling them everything they need to know about us. All right. Just to show you how serious this shit is. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no fun and games. They already got you in a loophole. You know what I'm saying? But it don't necessarily mean to brag and boast that much more. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, for an example, here in Babylon, we know that we eating defiled food, and that's going to happen. But, we got to pray and have faith. But it don't mean to go out there just because that's the case to go eat the worst shit ever. You know what I'm saying? At least try, you know what I'm saying, to avoid whatever you can. You know what I'm saying? So as they're going to try to turn the tables on us, you see what their game plan is. It says, what is reputable news? YouTube plans to decide for you. All right. So as we come into this here famine of the word, we understand that, with the so-called fake news and all this and that, all these ploys are directed towards us, but they're not going to talk about the Israelites. All right. So basically they're going to say, YouTube is getting it right and everything like that because of the people have decided basically we don't want no more fake news because of the arguments with Donald Trump and so on and so forth and all these lies and conspiracies. They're going to be the one to filter this stuff out, going back to Obama's net neutrality law. All right. Where they're going to censor the internet. All right. So that's part of the famine of the word of them cutting us off. All right. And that's what they're going to start using, going back to old boy talking about beheading videos, death and hate and all this and that and hate speech. That's going to be the pretext to use this here machine. All right. So to back that there up, it says teenagers inciting violence should be banned from social media. All right, now this is out there in the UK, and we also know about this. You know what I mean? Spreading towards this side. You know, it says a Labour MP has suggested that young people who use social media to incite violence should be banned from such online platforms. All right, so like we was just reading about, YouTube to decide what's reputable news or information, or the things that's going to be aired over the YouTube airways where we predominantly push our word. All right, they're talking about the youth. All right, which the most of the men of the Lord are at young ages on the highways and the byways. All right, prophesying the downfall of this wicked ass kingdom. You know, like they say, thus with violence shall Babylon fall. You know, and we telling you about the violence that's going to take hold of this place. All right, so when we out there preaching about, race riots is coming, World War III is coming, nuclear war is coming. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, by definition, that's basically inciting violence. Not saying that we gonna do these things. You know what I'm saying? We don't have nuclear weapons to produce a nuclear war. You know what I'm saying? The U.S. government wouldn't even allow us to create that shit here in America. You know what I'm saying? Looking at their spy system. But what we telling you, Russia doing that, all right? But nevertheless, and we not telling or bigging up Russia like, okay, Russia, here goes some money, you go do this. They doing this on their own. We just telling you, like the weatherman, hey man, it's about to rain. We didn't send the clouds, call the clouds, and none of that shit. We just letting you know rain clouds is coming. You finna get wet, all right? But nevertheless, this is the system that they're trying to put in place to go ahead and bring laws to start locking us up and bring on this here famine of the word. All right. So now this is in the UK. I had another story where it was basically coming to the US as well. But nevertheless, this one here says Apple to streamline user data request process for police. Now we was just reading about how Google on the other side basically has all this damn data, everybody's data who's using Android. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest platforms that there is, you know what I'm saying? And the other one is what? Apple. All right. So nevertheless, one way or another, they got your shit. You know what I'm saying? And they telling you what one of these companies, if one of these companies is doing it, don't you think all these companies is doing it? All right. They selling all this data to the police for what? More of their surveillance system. More of we trying to track you type of shit. You know, they saying the police, but it's really FBI, CIA. For what reason? All right. To come to persecute the men of the Lord. All right. They want to make sure everybody's watching twerking videos and knockout kings and shit like that instead of, spreading the truth of what Esau's things is. All right. So we're going to give you a example of that. All right. Now the story behind Alex Jones, right? Now Alex Jones is set up by these people. All right. He's their puppet. You know what I'm saying? For certain things to give out information and also disinformation and also create a crowd to follow into their demise. You know what I'm saying? There was a point in time where this guy here, Alex Jones, was talking about Donald Trump he has this new technology. He's going to release it. And so they're trying to hide it from the people, which he was right. The new technologies is microchip and AI and shit, but he's trying to get people to follow into getting the mark of the beast. All right. The same mark of the beast that he interviewed a guy named Aaron Russo on the same show who was telling us that we was going to get that shit. But now he bigging it up like it's a good thing, So we see he's a government pawn, you know what I'm saying? And he's the guy that the government wants us to watch is their puppet piece. All right. So we can take plays from what they're doing with him. Now it's time to go ahead and enact this famine of the word and come down on the prophets. All right. And they're doing that with Alex Jones because what? Alex Jones was so-called forefather or forerunner of the things that we so-called doing in general in a carnal sense, right? Exposing the wickedness of the so-called Illuminati, right? That's what he did to begin with. Now we basically following it up in a way more advanced state, right? So us so-called walking in his footsteps in the carnal sense of exposing this place, right? They're going to follow through with the same suit, right? So he's the first example and then they coming after us next. But like I said, he's a ploy for them, just letting us know what the hell's coming. So as you know, they banned him from YouTube and all these other social media platforms because of the shit that he talks about, right? Which, I don't watch Alex Jones no more, but I'm pretty sure that he didn't come out with no new shit. A whole nother new topic, some new shit that blew a lid off of something that talked about some shit crazy or something out the sideways that caused all this. Alex Jones has been talking about the same shit he's been talking about since day one. All right. So why are they waiting until right now when all these other stories are coming out to shut his channels down and shut down all his airwaves and everything like that? Now this one says InfoWars says PayPal has terminated agreement for promoting hate. All right. So first and foremost, again, like I'm saying, they're cutting him off from all his platforms and everything like that. All right. Not so Alex Jones can't make no more money. Like I said, this they inside man, but this is an example. They set an example with their own pond and shit like that, to come down on them, kind of like with the Bin Laden shit, you know what I mean? To get everybody, that's their pond or whatever, whatnot. They're not really coming down on them, but they just using him as the so-called face and the example to what they plan is. All right. So nevertheless, it says InfoWars says PayPal has terminated agreement with it for promoting hate. So now, what is this hate that we talking about? This is a general broad term. You know what? We can't talk about our hate for pedophiles and molesters and killers and shit like that. You know, the government talks about that. They talk about how Bashar al-Assad is a sick monster and how they hate that. You know, they hate, you know, all this dictatorship and rogue regimes around the earth. You know, that's hate speech. You know. And behind their hate speech, they actually got actions where they're killing people. You know, they actually actively in a conflict inside a country backing up their hate speech, you know. But we inside this country going to work amongst these people that we so-called are hating on, right? And we're not touching these people. We're not violent against these people. But nevertheless, this is their agenda because we're an actual threat unto them. We're a threat to their empire. Why? From exposing their wickedness, all right? Not because we got arms or nothing, no violent or nothing like that, you know. We're just exposing them, telling the people about how wicked they are, all right? I actually did a story on this the other day, but nevertheless, this here story was showing about, you know, the tracking devices that they got set up basically now. It says generation being born now is the last to be free. All right, talking about, let me read one paragraph out of it. It says, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange gave an interview on how technological advances are changing humankind. He said global surveillance will soon be totally unavoidable. All right, so again, we coming into this time right here, right now, where this mark of the beast system is being turned on. All right. Esau about to be serious about clamping down and going to be serious about reigning supreme as the God over this planet with nobody, challenging his authority. All right. That's the times we're coming into and how serious this is. All right. We have to watch ourselves and watch our backs to the things that we doing because homeboy got this here, surveillance state in place to come clamp down on us. All right. So it says the UK to set up new internet regulator to monitor hate speech and enforce code of conduct. So, AKA, what does this mean? Translate. They finna set up their police department to start enforcing the end of the Israelites, enact that famine of the word. All right. And what do you think they're gonna do with us? Not just shut down our channels like they do now. No, they're gonna start arresting us. All right, and charging us for treason and terrorists and things like that. All right, put us into prisons. All right, that's in the UK. This one here is in America. All right, like I said, that's the prime example over there. And then it comes over here. Now, this is talking about, you know, in a bigger scheme, but also you got to look at it on a smaller levels as well. This one says Trump's new cyber strategy seeks global domination over the internet. All right. So basically, Trump wants to use his systems, his spying devices and stuff like that, because they go into economic trade and stuff like that with this here document and stuff like that. But nevertheless, let me read this. It says setting the global standard for online behavior, preserving American dominance. All right, so first of all, setting global behavior. Everybody got to bow down to the white man, basically. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be under his mindset. If he say he love, you know, cornbread, everybody got to love cornbread, right? It says preserving American dominance, meaning his hegemony, his rule. He gonna be like God over the whole earth, the God of the earth. Public and political and economic. Well, political, right? My way or the highway. You don't want to worship the image of the beast, and your ass gonna get put to death. Economic interest. The mark of the beast system. You know what I'm saying? No man gonna be able to buy or sell. At least he has this here chip. All right. It says punishing malicious actors. All right. It says like Russia and China. Well, what does Russia and China do? They oppose the rulership and the domination of America. Same thing we oppose. All right. The rulership and the domination of these damn Edomite devils. All right. We want the kingdom of heaven to come. So we basically on the same side list. What is Donald Trump talking about having global dominance over the internet and everybody else? All right. And what are they planning to do with these things? All right. It says Hoken muscle guards CIA cables gives steamy description to enhanced interrogation. It says declassified cable detailing torture at the CIA black site in Thailand operated by now CIA Gina Hospital employed at Hokley language perhaps better suited to erotic novel as opposed to the documenting of the agency's actions. Now, this is a pretty old article, not that old, but nevertheless, homegirl now, I believe, worked for Donald Trump directly. Let me see where it says. Yeah, she's the CIA director now, but she was the head of the damn black site tortures and shit like that. But nevertheless, it says, where was it at? I wanted to read something out of here real fast. Nevertheless, actually, for time's sake, we'll skip it. I'll just go back over it. But nevertheless, they were basically talking about, in this article, what you can get out of it is the fact that, yeah, they are out here torturing people, you know what I'm saying? And they don't really give a fuck about it, you know what I'm saying? Donald Trump put somebody in position in a higher state to basically make this law, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, yo, I was the head of this little department that was doing that. Now I'm overseeing everybody, you know what I'm saying? Just to get a green light in my department to keep doing what we're doing, all right? Now, this is the last article. Well, no, it's one more after this. That further shows this, all right? It says, when it comes to Gitmo or Guantanamo Bay, one of these black site terrorists, lockups, what do they call these shits? These, basically like a concentration camp, right? It says, when it comes to Guantanamo Bay, the U.S. legal system does not work. 11 inmates detained on trial or release. Now, in this one here, they talk about some people who, let me read this real quick. It says, a group of prisoners held in Guantanamo Bay for years without charge have petitioned. So, going back into what Esau's plan is, all right? So, because this article ain't important, all right? It's just certain things in the article that stand out. They being held without charge, for several years. Same thing here. Like, yo, we could just lock you up because that, like, it'll sound stupid for them to put in law, which they already do have in law with the King Alfred Plan and Rex 84 and Project Megiddo. All right, and certain other laws that they enacted now to basically put us in jail and try us by law. But it would sound stupid on paper to be like, yeah, we're going to just lock up Israelites forever and just torture their ass. You see what I'm saying? But we know according to the scriptures, that's what they're going to do. And we see with these news articles and their laws that they passing, they're making it legal for them to do so and putting people in position to go ahead and enact this here plan. They starting to roll with this here agenda now. Rex 84, King Alfred Plan, and Project Megiddo. Now they activating it. All right. So it says, a group of prisoners, the Israelites, let's just say, in that day, held in Guantanamo Bay or any other FEMA or concentration camp for that sake, for years without charge, have petitioned a U.S. federal court demanding that they be tried or released. So these guys basically just being in here and being tortured. They're not even gonna see a court date. They basically just, being tortured for fun. By the wicked evil devil, man. He ain't got no real charges against. We when we go think about in the book of Maccabees, how with the 7 brothers, that's the same shit that's going on. We just want to, for entertainment purposes, want you to eat this here pork skin, right? And we're going to just, fry your ass and make you, cut off your limbs and shit and fry your ass and make your brothers watch just for fun. That's almost like this scenario, but, Esau actually fighting for his kingdom and the dominance of his kingdom. So he don't want us to expose it. But nevertheless, this is what they out here doing. All right. It says nobody has been released. It says, let me go back up. It says, Gitmo, however, exists outside the U.S. legal system, a former detainee has warned. So this ain't, this basically Satan mask off in the back room where nobody watching. He take you in that room and cut all the cameras off. He be like, look, this ain't got shit to do with that, boy. We're going to do what we want to do to you. And all you Jake know, about the regular legal system. The police can't just roll up on you and hit you with the damn stick and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not possible. All right, they be done lost their job, but how it always happens. They beat you with this shit, then they go and they lie about it and set it up in certain things. Once they get behind closed doors and they start planning and plotting shit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's how shit get loose, They might take you, they might in public just peacefully arrest your ass, take you to prison where ain't nobody watching, unhook the camera and then beat your ass, And then be like, well, he fell in prison. He got beat up by other inmates. We don't know what happened to him. We know that shit go on. All right. So the same way here, it's just like they got their regular legal system that, somewhat work in our favor. All right. But nevertheless, they got their whole other system where they can be like, well, shit, we can throw your ass in here. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got to have no trial and can't nobody ask about you. Don't nobody have to know about you. You'll just disappear in the system and we can torture your ass. All right. This is real. This is what's really going on right here, right now, 2018 in America. All right. And it's about to just get way worse. They torturing people. All right. And it's legal for them to do this. All right. So don't think that you're not on this here list and Esau ain't serious about coming to get your ass. All right. You, your loved ones, and your family. All right. It says nobody has been released from Guantanamo Bay to this day as a result of the legal proceeding. It says, yeah, so basically nobody been released from there. All right. So once your ass get up in there, they're going to just basically torture you to death. Now, this is the last one I wanted to read before we jump into these here scriptures. Further sealing the fact that this what we talking about. All right, all they got to do is replace us with these people, and it's already in the minds of these people that we need to throw these people in damn Guantanamo Bay because they've already been conditioned for this shit. To be like, yo, we that's how we finna eat. All right, it says Jewish liberal American reporter detained and questioned in Israel about his political beliefs. All right, so it says liberal Jewish American. All right, so the thing in this, the secret code, and basically is this is an American, all right? Like how we over here in Babylon, we Americans, all right? But nevertheless, they're saying that he's so-called, not to say pro-Jewish, but, you know what I'm saying, he's claiming that so-called ethnicity, you know what I'm saying, like how we claiming that we Jews, they're like, y'all gangbang, to the dumb person, they be like, how Jews gangbanging with Jews? I thought we was all Jewish, you know what I'm saying? But no, not necessarily. They talking about basically there's a division. But because you're going up against the state of Israel, all right, or the government, you know what I'm saying, they brandishing you as treason or locking you up or putting you into these black sites, all right? It says liberal Jewish American journalists, all right, like how we on the YouTube reporting on this, all right, it says he won't accept Prime Minister's Benjamin Netanyahu's apology for him being detained and questioned about his political beliefs at an Israeli airport, all right? Now let me jump down to the down here. It says he was basically detained, it says, in question for over an hour about his political beliefs and affiliations. So basically the same thing with us. Well, what do you believe in? What's your affiliation? Are you basically against the state of Israel being in existence and so on and so forth? That's like what we preach about Amalek and his downfall and Esau and his downfall. All right. Which are both, well, Amalek is a tribe of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. So they going to basically pin all this on us. They're like, if you against us, then, like George Bush said, if you either with us or you against us, you either with us or you with the terrorists. And basically, if you're not with the agenda, like the scriptures say, if you don't want to worship the image of the beast or worship Esau, then you should be put to death. All right. And we know we're going to grab it in the scriptures. We're going to just jump over to the scriptures. And I know this video kind of long, but you know what I'm saying? This is the importance of the time that we living in. All right. You know what I mean? And if you don't have the time to, watch all of this and go through all this, then, the Lord called out, you know what I'm saying? You ain't want to listen. The Lord showing you these things. Like I said, we go over these scriptures all the time. You know what I'm saying? But to show you these headlines in the newspaper, all right, to show you what time we really living in, you know what I'm saying? That's a little more seriousness, all right? So we're going to start out in the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11. It says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land. All right, and we know a famine is basically like a shortage of food, all right? And what is food? Food is nourishment, and it feeds and builds you up, all right? It says, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst of water, but of hearing the word of the Lord, all right? So, like I said, a famine is a shortage of food, right? And food is nourishment to build you up. But the Lord said not a famine of bread or water, the things that physically fill you up and nourish you, but something that spiritually fill you up and nourish you, all right? And right now, like when you read in the book of Ezekiel 37, we in the valley of the dry bones. We was commanded to go out there and raise up those dry bones, all right? Basically to feed the sheep. If you love me, feed my sheep, all right? So as we feeding them and building up this here exceedingly great army, the Lord said basically it's going to come a time where the restaurant gonna close down, basically, all right? You ain't gonna be able to eat no more, all right? Verse 12, it says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, from north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh and shall not find it, all right? So basically, this is going out to the men that's on the other side of the fence that's just watching and not acting, all right? There's gonna come a time and a place where these doors are gonna close. All right, you're not going to be able to come and hear the word of the Lord no more. All right, you're not going to have that time to come into the word of the Lord. So that's your warning to take heed to that. All right. And it says, verse 13, and in that day, the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. They that swear by the sin. So they're going to faint for thirst. So in that day, again, like I'm saying, now, again, this video is not necessarily to the men that's on the other side of the fence that's just watching. But this here part is for you. All right. This part is for you men that's watching and not really taking up your cross and doing your work, whatever your lot may be. This is a warning to you. There's going to be one day where, don't take this word for granted, these videos for granted, take heed to what you're hearing and you seeing and apply that, because there's going to come a time where it's going to all be shut down. As we just read those articles, you see it coming into play. So we're not going to be out here long. The Most High is putting the spirit out there to basically have us shut down. All right. So it's your time now to go ahead and make your move. You only got but a short time. All right. But continuing on, it says, verse 13 again, in that day shall the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. They shall swear by the sin of Samaria and say, thy God, O Dan liveth, the manner of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up. Basically being those non-believers, you know. Now is your time to get right. You know, if you believe in this, come on, your time is now. All right. Up to the next precept. This is Matthew chapter 24, 24 verse 8. It says, and these are the beginning of sorrows. You know, just like we read about in Jacob's trouble. You know, a time like never before. All right, that's gonna be a time like never before. All right, and that's the time we coming into. You know, so you read in these articles, it ain't never really been like this. You always had the so-called freedom of speech. You know, you can go on the internet and have all kind of shit on there. Right. Verse 9, it says, and they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And as you see, they starting to paint this picture of us right now to make the masses hate us. All right, they already demonized us and so-called turning us into terrorists in the media. All right, saying that we the bad guys. All right, and it says, and you shall be delivered, and they shall deliver you up to be afflicted. All right, calling us terrorists, defaming us, demonizing us, getting us fired from our jobs, protesting against us, calling the police on us, which they do now, you know, trying to get us locked up, you know. And again, to the men that's out there preaching, that's not a badge of honor to be like, see, we fit the prophecies. They hate us, you know, and it's not a thing to be sitting out there trying to antagonize. It's like you walk up to a wasp nest and you hit the wasp nest. Of course, the wasp can come out and sting you. That don't mean that wasp is just bad. You went out there and you hit the wasp nest, you know. This is a little different, you know. This is just for you teaching the truth, all right? This is because the fact that you out here just preaching the word of the Lord, you know what I'm saying, and exposing Esau truth is cutting Esau to his core. All right, you just exposing the things that he doing. You don't have to add nothing to it, you know. Him being a pedophile, you just exposing. You like, yo, he a pedophile. You know, that's enough to it. You ain't got to go out there and be like, you know, this motherfucking you a bitch ass nigga and this and that. Yeah, he gonna be mad about that. But just, you know, just exposing his truth, you know, gonna make them hate you, you know. So this ain't no kind of badge of honor to wear, you know, because this is they seriously finna come down on your ass because you fucking up they so-called money. All right. Continuing on, it says, verse 10, and then shall many be offended. All right. You know, all these people, Esau, these Edomites, and these different groups that they create, and they all becoming offended. These homosexual groups are being offended. These women are being offended. So-called white man is being offended. 2/3 of Jake is being offended. Everybody becoming offended right now. You know, we see that first article was reading about the young teen being obsessed, you know, talking about he was fed up with his life. What does that mean? He's being offended by something that's going on in the world. All right. It says, and many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And that's basically the opposition to us. We out here telling you the truth, but Esau setting up his agenda or his pawns to push his agenda. All right. And try to cloak all this is coming up. You know, it's talking about preaching love and everybody all together. Then he also preaching the fact that religion is an abomination. We got to get rid of that. So you either get caught up in one of those two groups and you don't come to the truth. All right. It says verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound. All right. Because all this wickedness keep going on and on and on. All right. The love of many shall wax cold. All right. And that's what you starting to see. These people, they starting to turn on you here and there, left and right. You know, they got their own agenda. All right. It says, but verse 13, and he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Now, touching on this here, enduring to the end. All right. You got to be strategic and enduring to the end, man. Like I said, man, you have to endure to the end. It's not going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, you don't know what ticket you got on that chariot. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be walking with that pride like, yo, I know I'm going to be straight. So fuck all y'all niggas. Fuck the government. Come get me. I'm right here. Y'all can't touch me. I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? We not supposed to be in that spirit, man. We supposed to be humble servants. You know what I'm saying? Fearing the Lord, fearing that we are part of that number, and the Lord got his hedge around us and he going to protect us. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the Lord say not to fear and have faith, but nevertheless, we're not supposed to be proud and boasting and, you know what I'm saying? And just basically just being proud, you know, like, and having a haughty spirit. Cause that's how Esau said, that saith in his heart, you know, who shall bring me down to the ground? You see what I'm saying? We're not supposed to be in that same spirit, man. That's why he getting damn judged, man. That's an abomination before the Lord. You know, we're supposed to fear the Lord and serve the Lord in fear and trembling. All right. We're supposed to fear the Lord, that the Lord could just, hey man, I ain't dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? We could be like Judas Iscariot at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't really know you. You know, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? King Saul, he was the king over Israel. You see what I'm saying? Moses, he didn't get to lead the people into the promised land. So we got to think of these examples. You see what I'm saying? And stay humble with this, because of what? Hey, man, we got to be able to endure to the end. We got to be able to make it to the end. And it's not going to be an easy route, man. It's not going to be just a cakewalk through, man. Every time beforehand, when the Lord had this so-called transition period, and the people that got saved in the Bible beforehand and all the other times, man, it wasn't easy. It wasn't a cakewalk, man. They had to go through some shit, man. You see what I'm saying? Hell, for instance, the survivors of 70 AD, all right? They transition wasn't no nice and easy transition. They didn't just, and the people that made it over here in America, man, that transition period wasn't a nice and easy transition period, man. It was harsh. It was brutal. And the Lord said that, hey, man, this time going to be like a time like never before. So it's going to be like that on 1,000, man. So we got to understand that this time that's coming, man, with this system that Esau got in place with this tracking system, is nowhere you're going to be able to go, nowhere you're going to be able to hide, nothing. Man, your phone is recording you all day long, man. You know what I'm saying? Me just thinking about this, how sick this is, just to know that there's a red dot on my head every single day, man. And I better not slip before the Lord, because, you know what I'm saying, all it takes is, it's not the Esau I fear. You know what I'm saying? We don't fear Esau coming to kill us and nothing like that, man. The only thing I fear is the Lord taking that hedge down, man. As soon as he take that hedge down, man, that bullet finna come, or however Esau finna come at us, man. That's just what it is, man. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the seriousness of it, man. That's how he's supposed to take the word of the Lord and his job and this task serious, because we put our hand to the plow, basically putting that red dot on our head, you know? And at any point in time, you know what I'm saying, the Lord could just remove that hedge and that bullet come flying, and boom, you got that JFK, boy. You see what I'm saying? It's the same shit, man. We like the president, man. You know what I'm saying? The president got to sit there and listen to what the Illuminati tell him to do. And if you don't, bro, you're going to get that JFK walk. Just like they did Barack Obama. They're like, listen, nigga. All right, hold up. All right, listen. We're going to take your ass the same route JFK went and make your ass walk the same route he walked. And then we're going to put you in the magazine and compare you to JFK and Martin Luther King. Both these niggas we popped in broad daylight in front of everybody. Don't think you know different, nigga. You want to get out of line, we got your ass. Don't think you ain't out of our reach, man. We like the Most High, nigga. We see everything you do. All right, so that's the fear that we supposed to have, man. We don't need to fear man and what he can do to our body. That's not what we fear. We fear in the hedge and the power of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Who could drop that hedge from around us and let these niggas just go apeshit and do what their heart's desire is to us. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that's protecting us from Esau getting at us, is the Most High, man. So that's what we have to, you know, hey, man, we got to stay humble to this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, me just doing this here lesson, this is a real serious, sickening lesson to even be doing, just to know that, hey, that's how serious this shit is, man. And it's not nothing to play with before the Lord, you know. But it says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. Just thinking about the things we're going to have to go through, persecution, man. You know what I'm saying? When you can't go to work no more and your face is on the news, you can't contact your family members, you know what I'm saying? You can't walk into the store because there's cameras everywhere to eat, man. You can't get into a car. You can't do nothing, man. You got to just run from here to there, here to there. And they talking about being a pilgrim like in the woods, man. How you going to run being a pilgrim in the woods when they got facial recognition in the satellites? You see what I'm saying? So it's really going to be the hedge of the Lord that's going to have to guide us through all these different things, man. Like in the movie, The Book of Eli. But we got to have that faith, all right, in the Lord. We got to believe in the Lord and have that seriousness before the Lord, you know what I'm saying? And serve him and uphold him and keep him first. You know, we got to keep him as the apple of our eye first and foremost. Everything we do, we got to see him, like Yahushua, we got to see him, how I say, first and foremost, knowing that everything we do, we got to, first and foremost, we got to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua first and foremost, you know, because like, yo, I'm about to go into this here venue, or fuck it, I'm about to go out into the highways and the byways. We got to give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bahashem Rakah Kadash, because it's his spirit and his spirit and his angels is watching over us on the highways and the byways. Like I said, at any point in time, man, they already out there watching us, man. That's how serious it is. They already got the sniper scopes on us and shit like that, man. At any point in time, they could just squeeze and let off. They own the system. They could just be like anybody did it. We was in some gangbanging shit. They could put we was terrorists. You know what I'm saying? All they got to do is put us on the news, say, oh, we was terrorists. We got some guns and this and that and some fake ass shit on us. Type up everything and the media gonna believe us. And they be like, look, some old niggas. Like the dude with the axe. I don't know shit about him. I don't even know if that was a real story. But nevertheless, that the story was put out there like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the world believe. So they don't give a fuck. He was just another nigga being a terrorist. You see what I'm saying? So this is what they got lined up for us. All right. But we have to be able to endure and make it through all these different things, man. We got to be humble enough to remain, you know what I'm saying, humble in this truth and meek in this truth, you know, because the scripture say the meek shall inherit the earth, man. There's no position to brag or boast and be proud, you know. Because we don't know, like I said, what if we got a ticket to get on that chariot. You know what I'm saying? So, continuing on, it says, Verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then the end shall come. So we still got a job to do, man. Even though the targets is on our head, man, we got to keep pushing, man. We got to keep enduring. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out here, and I'm going to come back with a part 2 to this, all right? I'm going to say, call halal Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught me this truth. And, peace and blessings to the Akim that's pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, shalom. Stay tuned for part 2.